What's up, everybody, man? Check this out. So my friend reached out to me. He said, "Hey, Roy, you know what I'm saying? Do a video on this topic. Where did God come from? Did He create Himself?" And you know what I'm saying? Some people don't even believe in God because they don't understand the concept of eternity or where God come from and things like that. So hopefully I can help y'all. As y'all can see, I got my little chalkboard in the back. All right, do me a favor. Close your eyes and picture nothing. Okay? How many people pictured this? It's like a black space. Well, guess what? You didn't picture nothing. You still pictured something. You pictured space. You see what I'm saying? So now how many people pictured a white space? Well, actually what you pictured was a bunch of colors, because white is the reflection of all the color spectrums, all the colors in the rainbow or whatever. It's a reflection of it. And on top of that, it's in a space. So even though you close your eyes and see black or either white, you still picture something. So you can see it's impossible to picture nothing. And the reason why it's impossible to picture nothing is because there was never a time where there was nothing. Let me explain it to you. Let me get my ruler. So here we have nothing. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing. So that means that if there was nothing, there will forever be nothing, because something can't come out of nothing. So now, if you come down here, because we have something, that means that something could not have came out of nothing. Because keep in mind, something cannot come out of nothing. So this something had to always have been there. So now something plus something equals two somethings. Right? So the fact that we have something means that something is eternal. Something always been there, because you can't get something out of nothing. So let's just destroy the argument that God was created. Because if God was created, then that means somebody created him. Well, then somebody would create that person. Then somebody would have created that person. And somebody would have created that person. And you can go for 1,000,000 years saying somebody created that person. Somebody created that person. So the fact that there is something means that something is eternal. Right? So now let's picture this as space. Right? The God of the Bible said he is the first. He is the beginning and the ending. He's the beginning and the end. He's the first and the last. Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah, he is called the Father of eternity, which means the origin or the source of eternity. Now, what is eternity? Eternity is time, right? Now, you can't have time without space. So, if you look at this paper, just say this is space and time. He is the origin of it. So he is eternal. He don't have a beginning. He is eternity. He embodies eternity. You see what I'm saying? So he is the far as left. He is as far as left as there is right. So when you look at eternity, picture it like this ruler. Now let's go to the left. That can go on for light years and light years. Now let's go to the right. That's future. He going for light years. He is the origin of this. That means he embodies it. So now let's picture this as being eternity, right? Just picture him embodying this, and he's saying, "Let me create into this into this space," right? So you get this. Hope it ain't upside down. Oh, no, it's not. So now you have planets and things inside of this space. Now, in order to have planets, that means that the elements in the periodic table have to come into play. Carbon, helium, oxygen, and things like that. What else? Titanium, all the metals and things like that. But guess what? That means God would have to have created those things. See, atheists believe in the Big Bang, but that can't be so, because all those elements in the periodic table has a specific design. It has a specific purpose, and the purpose is to be the building blocks for life. So now, when you look at this something over here, this something is a designer, right? So now he's a designer because he make things that he give them purpose in, right? So now he create these planets out of these elements, okay? He create the planets. But guess what? These planets are on fixed laws. So now we about to get into what is it? Physics and chemistry and physical science. So these laws, like the law of gravity and the law of motion, all these things are into play now. That's why the sun is in its spot. That's why the earth rotates the way it does and it don't just spin off and go 60 million miles out of the way. That's why, you know what I'm saying, the moon is where it's at, because these are fixed laws. These things are governed by laws. So what are laws? Laws are protocols, instruction, and information. You see what I'm saying? If the sun get too close to the earth, all of us will die. If the sun gets slightly too far back, all of us will die. So this universe is finely tuned for life. You see what I'm saying? The planets don't crash together. Even the constellation, the stars, how they move on their own course. Just everything is in this, like, moving like clockwork. So this God that is a designer, he have laws. Now, in order to have laws, you need knowledge, because laws are instructions, it's protocol. So this something that always exists is a lawgiver and a person of knowledge. But in order to have knowledge, you need a mind, a brain. Knowledge is no good if it don't have a brain to execute the things. You know what I'm saying? So now you have to look at he creating things in different places. So this God, or we're going to say something. We ain't going to say God yet, because I'm trying to build a case. So this something has laws, knowledge, a mind, and it has a concept of location. So it has a concept of moving. So this something can move, right? So now we have intelligent design. This can't come through a big bang, because that's as crazy as the saying I threw a bunch of rocks in the air and it came down as a Jackson Hospital building. You know what I'm saying? Just, it's impossible. So now we see design. Everything has a purpose. Every metal, piece of iron, gas, or whatever is finely tuned. If a percentage of gas was to be wrong on the sun, it'll destroy the whole galaxy or whatever. All right, so cool. So now we have an intelligent design, right? So now God created a place called Earth, and Earth is so finely tuned that if God was off on oxygen just by a hair, and with the hydrogen and things like that, it can combust a fire. You know what I'm saying? Or you won't be able to breathe. So if the slightest gas was off with the earth, life wouldn't be able to exist. So now we have this. So now we have intelligent design on earth. Now, this man here, picture, if we're going to talk about language. Now, picture this man, right? If he didn't have the concept of language, that means he couldn't have thought. Because of thought, if you think of something, you have to use language to think. So there was never a time that the first person who was on earth didn't have language or thought. Some people like say evolution, like it, they learn, they taught themselves how to speak, and they taught themselves languages. But in order to think or to teach, you have to have a concept of language. So there's something that created him had to have programmed the skill of language inside of him in order for when he wakes up, or how he was created. In order for him to think, he had to have the concept of language installed in his brain, like software, like when you install software into a computer, or else he'll just be a vegetable. He wouldn't even be able to, you know what I'm saying? He can't even process a thought, because in order to process thought, it requires language. So now the creator who created cannot create his creation with something that he don't possess his own self. So this means that this something that creates can talk and have a concept of language. So now let's break down what we learned. There was never a time where there was nothing, so there always was something. This something is eternal, right? This something is a designer, and when he designed, he governs his design with laws. These laws are knowledge or protocols or information, and it takes a mind in order to execute that knowledge and laws. So this has a mind. And he moves because he has concept of location. And he can talk. Voila. This is God. He's a personal being. He's not some star. He's not the universe. He's a person. He embodies eternity because he is eternal. He is eternity. Eternity. He embodies time. He embodies space. That's why he's everywhere, because he is. He is like time and space is a like an attribute from him. He embodies that. You see what I'm saying? That's why when we in creation, it's like almost like we inside of him. That's the best way I can say it. Like almost like we are inside of his presence. There's nowhere we can go where he isn't, because he embodied time and space. You see what I'm saying? But God said that, you know what I'm saying, he is not like anything that you can fathom or you can understand. You see what I'm saying? We have finite understanding. That's why you can't picture a time where there was nothing. So with that being said, there is a God. And that's it. This your boy Roy, man. I'm out. Peace.